Once the cake is set, remove it from the freezer. Remove the cake ring and acetate sheet. Pour the mirror glaze on top of the cake. Pour it in the center so that it flows uniformly everywhere.
Hi everyone and welcome to Abhishekz Kitchen. Today we are going to make a flourless chocolate mousse cake. So let's get started.
For the recipe, first for the chocolate mousse, rain in the gelatin powder in water and keep it aside for at least 20 minutes to bloom. Always use cold water to bloom gelatin, as hot water will immediately dissolve the gelatin and it won't be good for working. Place the pan of milk on medium heat and bring it to a boil. Keep whisking the milk while boiling so that it doesn't stick to the bottom. Once it starts to boil, remove it from the heat. Add half of the boiled milk over the chocolate and let it rest for 30 seconds for the chocolate to melt. After 30 seconds, whisk gently chocolate and milk until the entire chocolate is melted. Once the chocolate has melted, add the remaining milk and whisk. Next, using a hand blender, emulsify the mixture. Next, add the bloomed gelatin and whisk to remove any lumps in the mixture. Next, in a stand mixer, whisk the cream until medium stiff peaks are formed. Remove the bowl from the stand mixer. You can see the medium stiff peaks are formed. Don't whisk further than this, as we need a light and not a dense mousse. Before mixing the ganache to the whipped cream, ensure that the ganache has cooled down to 32 to 35 degrees Celsius. Gradually add the ganache to the whipped cream so that it does not deflate the whipped cream. Keep on gradually folding the ganache with the whipped cream. Do not overmix the mousse, otherwise it might deflate the mousse. Transfer the mousse to a bowl. Cover it with a cling wrap. Ensure that the cling wrap is touching the surface so that no skin is formed. Keep the mousse in the fridge to set for at least 12 hours. Next, for the flourless cake base, preheat the oven to 205 degrees Celsius for 20 minutes. In a stand mixer, whisk the egg yolks. While whisking, rain in the first batch of sugar. Whisk at high speed until the mixture becomes pale, light and fluffy. Remove the bowl from the mixer. The mixture should have a flowing consistency. Transfer this to another bowl and keep it aside. Next, in a clean and dry stand mixer bowl, add egg whites. Whisk the egg whites on high speed until they become light and fluffy. Next, at a low speed, rain in half the sugar. Increase the speed and whisk for a minute. Repeat the above process with the remaining sugar. Whisk until glossy meringue with medium soft peaks is obtained. Add 1/3 of the meringue to the egg yolk mixture to lighten the mixture. Add cocoa powder and mix. Add in the second part of the meringue and fold it gently without deflating the meringue. Repeat the above process with the final part of the meringue. Transfer this batter to 2 silicone or parchment paper lined sheet pans and spread it using a spatula. Bake for 6 to 8 minutes or until a toothpick comes out clean. Please start checking the cake after 6 minutes. Due to the dark color of the batter, it is difficult to judge when the cake is baked and not burnt. Next, transfer the cake to a parchment paper. Gently remove the silicone mat from the cake. Next, using an 8-inch cake ring, cut 2 pieces of cake. You can cover these cake pieces with a cling wrap and store it in the fridge for 2 to 3 days or in the freezer for 3 weeks. After 12 hours, remove the cling wrap from the mousse. You can see that the mousse is light, airy and soft. Transfer the mousse into a piping bag with a thick nozzle. Next, line an 8-inch cake ring with an acetate sheet. Place the first cake base at the bottom of the ring. Next, apply rum syrup on it. The recipe for rum syrup is same as Bailey's syrup. Just replace Bailey's with the dark rum in the recipe. The recipe for Bailey's syrup is in the description below. If you want, you can skip any kind of alcohol. Next, pipe the chocolate mousse on top of the base layer and spread it using an offset spatula. Repeat the same process with the second sponge layer. Clean the top mousse layer using the spatula and place it in the fridge. Freeze this for a minimum of 4 hours or until firm. Next, for the mirror glaze, place the pan of heavy cream on medium heat. Add in sugar and mix and bring it to a boil. Next, rain in the gelatin powder in cold water and whisk and keep it aside. Next, in a bowl, add cocoa powder and room temperature water and mix using a spatula until a thick paste is formed. Once sugar and cream mixture starts boiling, remove it from the heat. Add bloom gelatin to it and mix until dissolved. To this, add cocoa paste and mix using a spatula. Pass this glaze through a strainer to remove any lumps. Emulsify the glaze using a hand blender. Tap the glaze to remove any air bubbles and keep it in the fridge overnight to set. Once the cake is set, remove it from the freezer. Remove the cake ring and acetate sheet. Microwave the mirror glaze to bring it to a temperature of 30 to 35 degrees Celsius. Pour the mirror glaze on top of the cake. Pour it in the center so that it flows uniformly everywhere. Pour the remaining glaze at locations where there isn't enough glaze. You can also collect some glaze from the sheet pan and add it again on the cake. You can see that the cake has a shiny mirror glaze and you can see your face on the cake surface.
Thank you and namaste from my side. See you all in the next video.